Council meeting of July 6, 2021 is now called to order. We'll stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I think we'll have Kathy lead us tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Donna, how about a roll call?
Councilmember Feast. Here. Mayor Dorsey.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Peterson.
Here.
Councilmember McDowell.
Present.
Councilmember Inesco.
Here.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Here.
And Councilmember Bode.
Here.
It's a lot easier to do that looking at you than on Zoom when they're moving all around.
Yeah.
A lot better this way. Okay, does council have any late changes to the agenda tonight?
I move that we take the LTAC confirmation tables off the consent agenda and table them to the July 20th meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table the LTAC, what was it called?
LTAC confirmation letter.
LTAC confirmation letter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, anything else to the agenda tonight? If not, we'll go on to any board reports by anybody.
I don't have a board report. I just wanted to thank the police chief for loaning me Shannon for a few hours a couple weeks ago. She's very knowledgeable and informative of the problems in the city and the challenges to address those. I think she might be a little bit, what's the word? I think she could use some help.
She is a one-person
She's-
artist.
She's very busy. The dogs alone keep her busy, let alone getting out there and addressing some of the code violations. And she took me to 3 camps and many properties. And I just want to say she's knowledgeable. You should all ride with her for a couple hours and she'll explain the challenges that we have with code enforcement.
Well, it was my pleasure, and I think Shannon is indispensable.
Mhm.
Agreed.
All right. Before we move on, I'd like to say one quick thing that, Jeff Knighton is missing tonight. And hopefully he is not watching. Hopefully he's on the beach or on the water somewhere.
He is watching. Hello.
If he is, hi Jeff. And we have Michelle Sutherland filling in for him tonight. Okay. Let's move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're going to have a presentation. Councilmember Parks and Rec's proclamation, Councilmember Inesco is going to read it and declaring July as Park and Recreation Month. Go ahead. You're up.
Whereas parks and recreation programs are an integral part of our communities throughout this country, including the city of Shelton. And whereas our parks and recreation are vitally important to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities, ensuring the health of all citizens and contributing to the economic and environmental well-being of our community and region. And whereas parks and recreation programs build healthy, active communities that aid the prevention of chronic disease, provide therapeutic recreation services for those who are mentally or physically disabled, and also improve the mental and emotional health of all citizens. And whereas parks and recreation programs increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas parks and recreation areas are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community. And whereas parks and natural recreation areas improve water quality, protect groundwater, prevent flooding, improve the quality of air we breathe, providing vegetative buffers to development and produce habitat for wildlife. And whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And whereas the U.S. House of Representatives have designated July as Parks and Recreation Month. And whereas the City of Shelton recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources. Now therefore, be it resolved by the City of Shelton Council that July be recognized as Parks and Recreation Month in the City of Shelton. Adopted tonight.
All right, thank you, Eric. And now I think Mr. Mark Ziegler would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. I really want to appreciate your work in Parks and Recreation in our community, as well as everybody else in the Shelton community. I've spent close to 27 years here managing Parks and Recreation, and a lot has changed over that time. The biggest change was the adoption and the approval of the Shelton Metropolitan Park District in 2010. We were obviously in a great recession at that point, and we were facing closure of many of our parks, if not, completely eliminating the department at that time. Interesting time, scary time. For me personally, as basically a one-man department on the administration side, but also the folks that take care of our parks and work really hard day in and day out. Our community passed that measure. We faced some uncertainty with pro-rationing through the rest of the recession and we weren't really able to fully realize the benefits of that SMPD that we do now. But hopefully the community is seeing some of their efforts and their support with that SMPD now with our facilities and the improvements we're able to make, the programming we're able to conduct, especially now coming out of our pandemic, the properties that we've been able to acquire, and the exciting projects we have coming up with not only the Mankey and Angle properties, but the future, the former Simpson Railroad, Northcliffe Neighborhood Park, as well as other planning and programming. To kind of segue into that, we have one of our first time events, our field days, scheduled on July 14th and 28th, 14th at Neyland Park, the 28th up at Callahan Park. These are free events for the community to come up. Our recreation staff is going to provide some games, activities, and equipment. Folks can just come up and enjoy the park, play some games, have a good time during those afternoons, those 2 afternoons, and provide, again, a lot of those things that Councilmember Nisco just talked about in the proclamation. So, again, I just really appreciate your support tonight and recognizing Parks and Recreation Month in July in the City of Shelton.
All right, thank you, Mark. Okay. Now we'll move on to our general public comment where the council invites members of the public to speak for 3 minutes on any topic. Do we have anybody signed up tonight?
I think the answer is no, but Mark's double checked.
Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, your microphone's not on.
Oh, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's no one signed up, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to our business agenda. Public Works Director Jay Harris has information for us about a project award for the Park Street overlay.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council Jay Harris, your Public Works Director. So there's a little bit of an audio-video delay out there of about 30 seconds, so I apologize for the timing. Last 2 meetings ago was about 30 seconds. Tonight it's about at 30 seconds again. Last meeting was 15 seconds, so it's a little strange. So Park Street is one of the projects we are proposing to pave this year. We also have the chip seal on 13th, which the contract's already been awarded by you folks. So Park Street was the culmination of our paving package for this year. So the resolution that you have before you tonight didn't have a contractor's name in it. And the reason why we did that is we're trying to gain 2 weeks here. It's already gone to bid. I have the contractor's name. I'll give that to you guys in a second. But we wanted to try to save 2 weeks to just get paving in August, right? So the paving project is from 7th to Highway 3. We bid it out on June 23rd. We had 6 bids that we received. Granite Construction was the low bidder. They were at $263,000. This will be in your next resolution, by the way. We'll take what you see tonight and update it with all this information. The engineer's estimate was $295, so they were $30,000 under the engineer's estimate, which is good news. We're expecting construction to start with Granite Construction, was the low bidder, in probably later in August, maybe mid-August, if we can get all the contracts signed and all that. So city crews are currently out there. If you've driven Park Street, you'll see some patching that happened. That was for some galvanized water services that we removed and put copper in services. We're also working on grading of the ditch. We're moving it away from the roadway. You want to get the water away from the road base, right? And so we'll be done with our work in the next few weeks. There's some private-owned lots along there that don't have any homes on them. It's likely some services are going to go into them in the next month or so before the paving starts, depending on their permit status and where they get with all that, so they can get out of the street. We do have a no-cut policy, so if the road gets paved, we have a no-cut policy. What that means is for the gas company to go in there and decide they're going to rip up the road and put a new gas line all the way down it, they can't do that. But for residential services, they can connect, but they got to grind out like 15 feet each way and put in brand new asphalt. So the patch is about 30 feet wide if the services come in later for the utilities. The trucks. So the Park Street is not a truck route. So in the Shelton Municipal Code, we have roadways listed as truck routes. Highway 3, obviously, railroad is another one. How the trucks started going down Park, I don't know, but they're supposed to be going on Highway 3 or going down railroad. They have some difficulties turning on Highway 3, trying to take a right turn down there is a little bit of a problem. So I've been talking to some truckers, and what they need to do is just go to one of the other exits and not come down railroad. And so it increases their drive time a little bit. Anyways, we're going to be posting no truck signs on the roadway. We did have a proposal. The geotechnical engineer said we could add 3.5 inches more paving, and the section would accommodate trucks. But by the time we did that with a bunch of other grading and other drainage work and some curb work there's some curb on part of the road, it's going to add about another $200,000 onto the project just to let trucks onto it. So we're staying with the ordinance the way it is, no trucks, local street, and we're going to post the signs as such. And so Jeff, Manager Knighton, got involved, and he's been talking to SBI about those sorts of things. So that's what I have tonight. So it's Granite Construction, $263,000. Engineer's estimate was $295, and that's my presentation.
All right. Do we have any public comment here?
No, we don't.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Move that this item with the addition of the awarding resolution be forwarded to the action agenda for July 20th, the July 20th council meeting for further consideration.
Second.
All right. We have any questions for
comment.
Mr. J?
I just wanted to thank you for clarifying on the no cut. That's been an issue for a really long time, and there's been a lot of confusion around it, so I'm glad.
When you go read it, it's very specific. It allows utility people extensions to lots to continue to do that. Your repair costs go up, but other than that, it's a no-cut policy for like the gas company or cable or phone or somebody like that, because we've notified you, if you have a project, go get it done. But for a residential or commercial services to buildings, you could still do that.
But very few people understood it that way.
I know, I've been
It was a no-cut
describing this to
policy.
people. You got to go in and read the municipal code, and it allows for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go read what it says, what council adopted.
Yep,
Okay?
cool.
Do we have any idea of the number of trucks per day that are going through there? I mean, are we talking like hundreds of vehicles that are now having to detour elsewhere, or just kind of?
Yeah, I mean, my estimation, I don't live in the city, but I do drive the road, 3-4 times a day. And it seemed like before we called SBI, there was probably 20 trucks a day. And it's the loaded trucks that are going eastbound that are the problem. The unloaded aren't really that big of a deal. Well, then, one other thing I could say, the road needed to be paved 10 years ago, right? So, I mean, that complicated things, that water got in there, and, so the road got pounded by trucks when it should have been paved some years back. So, so it was about 20, and they're going other ways to get in. And every once in a while, you'll see one that continues to use the road, whether they don't know about it or whatever. One other really important item, too, is our bridge on 7th Street over Goldsboro Creek. That is a city bridge, okay? When you walk on that bridge and a truck goes by, it shakes. We just had an evaluation of the bridge. There's nothing wrong with the bridge, other than if you keep impacting it with heavy loads, we're going to have a $3 million project plus on our hands. We want to save our bridge, right? So that's another compelling reason not to send trucks that way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, anybody else? Okay, thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
We have a motion and a second to move this item with the addition of the awarding the resolution to the action agenda on July 20th council meeting for further consideration. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, move on to the action agenda. The first item on the action agenda is an ordinance to update the Shoreline Master Program. Senior Planner Jason Dose has the details. Hey, Jason.
Hey, hello. Thank you, Donna. Very nice of you. Thank you, council members. I'm here one last time, I think, for our Shoreline Master Program update. This, just to give you a very quick recap, the council authorized a grant from the Department of Ecology in 2020 for us to do a required update. Basically, this is almost a maintenance and operations update, I guess you could call it, to our Shoreline Master Program. Not too much substantive, just, improving the citations of state law, updating some definitions, updating our wetlands guidance to guidance that is currently used by everybody, except us. We haven't adopted it yet. So what I'm hoping for, after our public hearing on June 15th, in which we received no comments, I'm hoping we can get a first reading of the ordinance that would adopt these changes, and I could submit them to the Department of Ecology for final approval.
All right. Donna, do we have anyone signed up for public comment? That you
I'm
know.
checking out
As a-
there.
as-
And you know what? I should be doing the 30-second timer as
yeah.
well. So let me start that.
And as a point of order, it would be the second reading tonight, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct. And it has remained unchanged since the first time you saw the draft changes in January.
So, Mr. Mayor, there's no one here at the Civic Center signed up for public comment. So we just have a few
Okay.
more seconds here to wait. Okay.
All right,
No
would you
public.
please give us the second reading of ordinance number 1971-0621?
Yes, I will. Ordinance number 1971-0621, an ordinance of the City of Shelton, Washington relating to land use, amending Chapter 21.64, Critical Areas Protection, and Chapters 2, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of the City of Shelton Shoreline Master Program.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I move to adopt ordinance number 1971-0621 as presented.
Second.
Any questions for Jason? No? We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 1971-0621 as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
Our last action item this evening is a request to change the venue for LTAC event. Senior Clerk Donna Nault has more information for us.
I'm sanitizing. Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and council members. I am here tonight to present this to you on behalf of Christmastown Kiwanis. They have a Bluegrass from the Forest Festival that's normally held at Shelton High School. But this year, there is construction at the high school, so the Performing Arts Center is not available. And the South Mason Youth Soccer Organization has offered up their venue, which is near MCRA. And so I am asking for your permission for Christmastown Kiwanis to hold that event just outside city limits, about 1 mile outside for this year. And I'm happy to answer any questions
All
you
right?
may have.
This wouldn't be a precedent. It's not going to happen next year as well.
No,
Not that I'm aware of, no.
sorry. So, anyone else? I don't have a problem with this whatsoever. Has anyone signed up for public comment?
Let me put on my other hat.
Okay.
Okay, there's no one out in the Civic Center. What's? Okay, Mr. Mayor, that's 30 seconds, so there's no public comment.
All right, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion?
I move to approve the location change request for this year's Bluegrass from the Forest to South Mason Youth Soccer Park on Johns Prairie Road.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the location change request for Bluegrass from the Forest to South Mason Youth Soccer Park on Johns Prairie Road. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're going to move on to administration reports. Michelle, will you give us a city manager report, please?
I will. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and Council, I hope everyone had a safe and happy 4th. The My Civic app that we deployed has been well received by the public. I've gotten some great feedback for that, and we will have metrics for you available September 1st, so we'll be taking a look at that. City staff are also in the project planning stages for deployment of the Energov permitting and community planning software, which will really enhance and work seamlessly with our current suite of Tyler software that we have. The module itself focuses on permitting, planning, plan review, and code enforcement, and will really assist in automating and expediting these processes both for city staff and for the public as well. So that's something we're very much looking forward to. Asset management is the next module to roll out with a start date of October. We'll start the project planning phases for that one. The technology infrastructure upgrades are moving right along. Starting in July, we'll start to deploy our thin client hardware as well as upgrading the city staff to Microsoft Office 365. And that allows us to work very securely and collaborate and communicate really easily with each other. So that's really all I have today. Did anyone have any questions?
All right. Any questions for Michelle?
You got off easy.
I did, thank you.
Okay. Let's go to, does council have any new items for discussion? Okay, no? This is going to be a quick meeting. How about you, Chief?
We got our homicide suspect.
I heard that. That's terrific.
Yes,
Yeah.
Police PD picked up our suspect last night, and he's currently in Mason County Jail.
All
We're
right.
all happy about that.
Yes. Okay, our next meeting will be Tuesday, July 20th, 2021 at 6 o'clock. This meeting is adjourned at 6:25.